What?
I guess when I clicked on
it. I've waited for this all day. Ah, lost some corn.
I think the camera needs to be
It does.
Please. Adjust the camera.
There we go.
All right.
Or maybe a little bit more.
Oh, sweet baby.
Well, I think that's as good as it's gonna get. Okay. I hear you eating, dude. The light, I can see the light blow.
Okay. So,
guess what?
I feel like I'm blaming you, Jason. I'm cooking steak now after seeing your post. LOL. Oh, are you cooking this right here?
Can barely hear us.
Can barely hear us. What? Make sure. I want to hear that from more than one person. But
that was from Kitty, though.
What? Are you talking about this right here? You talking about it?
That's some good steak. Oh, dear.
Wow.
Yum.
Okay.
Wow.
So, oh, you know what I forgot to look at when I was busy putting all this.
I have no idea. Why would you do that to me?
I think it's
I know, but you need to focus.
Okay.
George.
So, we're wrong for that. I know.
Darn, Jason, you're a tease.
I know.
Hide your view of food. Hey, Hoss! God, we haven't seen him in so long.
Hoss gets it.
See,
you got me cut off.
No, I don't.
Yes, you do. I'm gonna come back like this.
Now, you're cutting my head off.
Well, I'm the best part of the show.
I'm gonna punch you in the mouth. And then I will eat your steak.
No, you won't.
Bet.
See, you done messed up the whole
I have
camera.
not. You're fine. Why did you have to move it? Hi.
It's like Grandpa said. You can be right or you can be happy. I'm just gonna be happy. Okay, so we're gonna let everybody get in here for a little bit. You also did get the notification. Awesome, Homestead Wannabes. And so tonight we're all about the beef, baby. Beef, baby. Now, I'll be honest with you guys. I am going to eat in front of you a little bit. I'm sorry for that. I did not get my dinner done in time. We had a lot of junk going on around the homestead. That was, to be honest with you, that was really not my plan. But, sorry. As you can tell by a lot of our posts on Facebook, we did get our beef back. Obviously, we're eating steak tonight. We're going to go over, I've got exactly how much we got back. I think you do, Hope. Aren't you going on after me? Green Hill Acres. So, hey, look, a lot of you guys know us. We have an open invitation to everybody. You want to come eat some broccoli out of the garden? And some beef? And some corn? Come on over. Come on, Cletus. All of this can be yours for 3 small payments of $49.95 a plate. So,
give me a marker.
A marker?
Right there. Yeah.
Whoosh. Uh-oh. And as you can tell, stupid camera. We are right now tallying up the numbers for the competition to name the new bull. It's basically between Kodiak and Diesel. We are also dining with our own homemade mead. Hoss, you're close enough. You could be here eating some of this steak because we've got an extra one. By the way, it was packed. Mm-hmm. You could be here before this live stream's over. Send me a private message. That close? He's in Anderson.
Nuh-uh.
Yeah.
He needs to come on down. We got an extra steak.
So
come on.
Send me a PM or send Mama a PM right now. We'll send you our address, and you could be here before this live stream is over. Oh, that is strong. And you're not some mean too. So.
Well, we got a tie.
Nuh-uh.
Yeah, we do.
Are you kidding me?
5 for Diesel, 5 for Kodiak, I think. Now, I'm sure, is Susan on here? She'll tell me if I'm wrong. 1, 2.
Wow. So we just got another one. We got another one for Diesel, another one for Shaft right here. But, okay, so we are in. We are probably going to run past our normal hour tonight because we have a lot of information to cover. And since Hope is going to be going on after us, I'm pretty sure
she'd be okay.
She going to be all right with that. Ugh. So.
Simply Seven's name was the best. I know, but.
I know.
John said head this way and bring us one. Wait
a minute. It's y'all's turn to come.
Uh-huh. We've been up there twice now. Huh. All right. So let's talk beef.
Oh, the Loaded Sink says his mead's been aging since last year.
Oh.
Grass fed, is that legal there now? Dave's got jokes. So let's not go. We're gonna talk about that in a second.
Go comment on the other video, guys. Y'all are making a dip. I can't count all that.
Yeah.
Y'all were supposed to comment on the video.
We're gonna handle it here near the end of the show,
okay.
and that's what we're gonna do.
I don't mind. Take as long as you want. Oh, this smells so good.
It's strong. I'm just gonna.
I mean, y'all, you can smell the honey.
Look, woman, just taste it. But I'm telling you, it's strong. Yeah, but it's strong though, ain't it?
No, it is fantastic.
Now, I must have got like the bottom of the... I just took maybe too big of a sip.
I mean, you can taste... Like, I feel like I'm dipping into a jar of our honey from last year. Like, I can taste the honey in it. Like, the honey mead that we bought at the store, I wasn't very fond of it. That is fantastic. Now, I bet the alcohol content on it is pretty high.
I know what the alcohol content is.
Oh, you do? He tested it, didn't he? Isn't it like 14 or something? Oh, wow. Robin, you get to break the tie. Oh, I get to break the tie. We'll see.
So... y'all are going to be gone by the end of the live stream. Yeah, this is a 16% alcohol.
It is fantastic. It is so good. How many glasses? This is the first one. Like, for real. You saw me drink my first.
Look how clear it is.
He did such a good job of filtering it. And, I mean, he said share the mead with your Viking friend. Oh, we will. We'll bring a bottle up. I mean, but don't tell anybody.
Okay, so let's... Man, you are right. That honey
You can taste the honey. Yeah. It is fantastic.
So...
We're going to pass out before insomnia.
Let's talk grass-fed beef.
Right.
Okay? Now, what makes grass-fed beef different than a burger that you get at McDonald's? Ooh. Well... A true grass-fed bovine whether it's steer, cow, bull,
whatever,
have been on grass their entire life. They're
Well,
not finished grass.
right. That's what I was going to say.
They're not, been on grass until they got to this certain age and then they finished them off with corn.
Mm-hmm.
No. Our grass-fed beef here on a Big Bear Homestead, from the time that they got off the tit until the time that they met the 22 round, they were eating grass. Now, did they get some sweet feed every now and then?
Of course. We had to
Yes.
bucket train them.
Yes. And the
Right.
reason being is because I wanted them following the bucket, because the bucket made them easier to load. Any livestock that you have that you're eventually going to take to process, you need to get it bucket trained.
Mm-hmm.
Excuse me. And that means you've got to, every now and then, use the same bucket. I suggest you use a bright orange.
The Home Depot buckets are perfect because it's bright orange.
Because it's bright orange, they see that, they recognize it, they put 2 and 2 together really fast, and then it's easy to put them on trailers. If not, just ask Dutch how much fun it is to try to load some pigs on a trailer.
Yeah.
Now, originally, I have some pictures. I wasn't able to get them all loaded up on the OBS, so you're going to have to give me a little bit of time when we get later on. But we're going to talk about how you go from this. Okay.
Oh, that was Baldi, like, probably a day or two after we got him. Like, that was pretty early on when we first got them. They were little bottle calves, basically.
How did we get from here to here? Now, I know, and my buddy, Lone Star, Texas Lone Star, or what
Lone
was
Star
it?
Living.
Lone Star
Jonathan.
Living. Jonathan. My buddy. I love the man to death. He's now on my list of people that if I noticed he commented, I cannot be drinking or eating anything if I go to read his comment. But he took this picture and he said, this is un-Prius.
This is not a Prius picture.
He said, liberals everywhere are crying.
Mm-hmm.
And that, to me, that was funny.
And that got us talking about what all that Prius has done for us.
That's not your ordinary Prius right there. But today we're going to talk about again, let me redo this, from here to here. How long did it take? What cost was it? How much did it cost us? And was it worth...
Teresa. Well, I can tell you how to get that last photo from there to here.
What it cost, was it worth it?
Right.
How much heartache and everything was involved?
Because this bull has a story.
And all of that. So, when we first... I can't believe that. I left that on there. Okay. So, we're going to talk about from A to B. Okay? When we first bought Baldi, right here at this... Let me go back to that picture. Where does it say baby Baldi? Right there. When we first bought Baldi, right here, he was approximately was he 2 days old? Maybe 3 days old?
Yeah, he was a bottle calf, so he was a few days old.
Mm-hmm.
So we got him very cheap.
Yeah. We paid like $25 for him. Because we bought a trio.
We bought 3 of them.
Yes.
One was a black Angus, one was a red Angus, and one was Baldi. And Baldi is a cross between a Hereford and a black Angus.
That is what the black Baldi breed is. And we got him really cheap. We bought him from a guy in Aiken, South Carolina. This is when we still lived relatively close to that area. And we had to bottle feed him. Now, this is where a little bit of the expense came in. Because he told us they were on grass already weaned. We were told that he was a lot older than what he
really was. Yeah, they were big sized calves, but they were young. And
so we took that as gospel. Well, like Robin said, there was a black Angus, a red Angus, and then Baldi, the black Baldi. And the red Angus was
Hamish.
Hamish.
Mm-hmm.
And he was sold to our friends at Icebox Farms.
Mm-hmm.
And
We told them we'd raise them on grass.
Yeah.
Right.
And which eventually we ended up losing him and the black Angus.
Anyway, they were so young.
But they were so young, they basically became hypoglycemic. The red Angus became hypoglycemic when the vet come out. And he said, I thought you said these calves were older. I said, that's just what I went off of. I said, we're still relatively green to this whole process. We don't really know how to age a calf yet.
Right.
And so he taught us how to age a calf, and then we started pumping them with basically the formula.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we had to.
And so we had added expense there that relatively you do not get.
Mm-hmm.
You know, unless you're going to buy a day-old calf where you can get them.
Right, if you're factoring that in, right. Mm-hmm.
And if you do that, then you got it already factored in. You already know. Now, the best thing to do with this is get a nanny goat, and you can supplement goat's milk for the cow's milk.
Mm-hmm.
I also like to emphasize right here that colostrum is a really big deal.
Mm-hmm.
If we would have been told the truth, we could have got a colostrum replacement and pumped it to him, and he would have gotten bigger than what he was.
Mm-hmm.
He still did not reach his full
what he could have been.
potential. But milk replacer is expensive.
You're
is exactly right.
So, but if you have a dairy cow, like we did, if we had known just how important colostrum was, we could have saved and frozen some for situations like that.
Mm-hmm.
So, anyway.
So, but he survived. He made it. Couple of vet bills and all of that.
Mm-hmm.
Oop, he got. No, you weren't supposed to see that picture. And then he started to grow up.
Mm-hmm. We moved up here, and this is a picture not long after we moved up here.
Mm-hmm.
They were relocated up here, so you can see he's gotten.
He got it.
And it was wintertime, so he'd gotten a little hairy, and he didn't have his horns yet.
Mm-hmm.
He was still a young calf.
Okay. So.
Sam said, okay, the educator is here.
Mm-hmm. I wish I could just throw this whole thing in there at one time.
Oh,
but,
yeah.
But anyway. He began to grow up. Okay? And so...
Oh, you just opened that up on the screen.
Good.
I don't think that's him.
That might not be him.
I don't think it is. I think that... See, we have a lot of black and white cows. That's the issue with having Holsteins. Jersey Holstein. So anyway, we got him here, and the thing is where we lived before, we were on 5 acres combined. But of that 5 acres, we probably only had about an acre to an acre and a half of grass. So we had to kind of or maybe about 2 acres of grass. So what we would do is we sectioned them off with wire and did concentrated grazing so that we could let the grass, kind of recuperate. We only had a few. No, I didn't see his comment, Hope. So we would rotate them around and do all of that. So when we moved up here, it was
you're also, let me interrupt you. You're leaving out a part.
What part?
We also, John, repost that comment to Robin because I can't find it. we also worked a deal with a neighbor. So they had our 2 acres of
Oh yeah,
grass,
yeah, that's right. I forgot
and
about
then
that.
their acre and a
Acre
half
and a half too. So we would
of grass.
rotate them back and forth. So we made it work.
Yeah.
To where they were still on grass. We were not feeding them grain. We found ways to get around it.
And so we moved up to our forever homestead on this 21 acres.
21 acres, and they went crazy.
And he never had to worry about it again.
Okay? We
Okay?
never had to move them.
So at the end, he became, let's see, I don't want to say part of the family because that's not right. Because
no, but he was a fixture on the homestead.
He was
definitely. There were a couple of times when we had to chase animals at, certain hours of the night.
Yeah, it was
and
his
a lot
fault.
of times it was his fault.
Yeah.
But the heart wrenching part of this story is we told you that there were 3 calves. Started out with 3. We moved them up here, and we got up here and we wanted to graze them up on the front part of our pasture that didn't have fencing. So we put electric fencing up, which they were familiar with and had no problem respecting that fencing. And what ended up happening is one night, we got a knock on the door, and it was the sheriff's department. And we had all of our cows up front, all 3 calves, and basically what happened is that the 2 of them got hit by a tractor trailer truck.
They were jumped by a pack of dogs or coyotes, which made them
run. And they spread out.
Now, the picture that you're looking at now was him. He was maybe a little over a year old, right there.
Yeah, he started to get his horns, so it was a little over a year.
Now, this picture was taken by Carol Ann.
Yes.
And she was playing around with some of the different settings, because you see some of it's in black and white, and then there's some green and stuff in there. So that's why that picture looks that way. Okay? So he began to grow. Now, grass-fed animals grow slower. That's why they're called slow food. Now, he did grow a little bit faster because we took his boy parts and turned him from a bull to a steer.
Right.
So he did grow,
they will grow a
little faster because of that. Okay? And then you basically just make sure that they kept water, that the grass kept okay, and he grew up. And it's just one of those things that you just have to be patient. And here's another little picture that Carol played with when she was doing it.
Whoa, that's a horn. Did you guys have to pay for the damage to the truck? No, because it didn't really damage the truck. And the other thing is that we're pretty sure that trucker was breaking a few laws because he didn't want to have anything to do with any reporting or anything.
And so she played with her camera and she did this half face one. That's what you guys saw in the thumbnail.
You cut his bullets off.
Hi, Sam.
How long did you have to let him grow? Well, we probably could have had him processed last year.
Yeah. And what happened was because we were new to the area, what am I doing? I got the
We
picture
didn't
already.
really know where we could take, and the person that had processed our pig, we knew we didn't want him touching our cow.
Now,
there's just no way.
You'll have to excuse the smudge on the screen. This was taken with the GoPro, and we tried to do a prompt to farm tour of our farm with the GoPro. Well, I slipped on some gumballs, and that's literally my thumbprint right there on the camera.
But you get an idea. He started to get the flap up underneath his chest, and he had the little bit of the hump. Yeah.
And so that's basically him couple of weeks before he got processed. Maybe a month.
Yeah, Teresa, that picture, I absolutely love that. She's got some pictures. Her portfolio is okay. Palmetto, yeah. Okay, I stopped the story. He was going faster than...
Stop. No, stop. We're not getting into this. We're not going to play this Mickey Mouse stuff with this tonight. I'm not doing it.
Yeah.
We're here to talk about grass-fed beef.
Yeah, there was
whether
more
or not...
than this. There's more to that
Stop.
story. No, I'm not going to stop. There's more to the story. I stopped the comments, but it's fine. Whatever. Anyway, did you spit on the what? Oh, I don't know. Anyway, go ahead.
And so we took him off to be processed.
Right.
Between that point in time, from the very beginning, he down here at baby Baldi, okay, from there
all the way
up to here, we had the $25 fee that we paid for him in it. We had the milk replacer that we had in it, and we had the vet bill. And so
right, so there really wasn't a whole lot of cost
in there.
I mean, there was, if you factor in the idea,
there was probably about $200 in him at that particular point in time.
But let me put a caveat in there. We have 21 acres of grass. So we didn't have to bring in any hay. We didn't have to do any of that stuff. We just let him go on the grass and it was good to go. So there wasn't any cost that some other people might incur because they don't have as much grass. That's the thing. Like, you got to make sure if you're going to grass feed them, you got to make sure you got plenty of grass for them. So, yes, so he is the beef we're eating right now. Yes. Now,
once we got him loaded up and taken over to the well, he was about 3 years old, give or take. No, the vet came to us.
I may have missed it. How old was he when you took him in? We thought he was a couple months old and had been weaned, but he actually was only a couple of days
He's talking
old.
about how old was he when we took him in to get processed.
Okay.
And he was about 3 and a half.
Almost 3, yeah, 3 and a half years old. Yeah, the vet comes to us. Large vets usually come to you. So, oh, look at Wickham.
You guys, I want to take this time and personally welcome one of my best friends from the Marine Corps with our time staying together. Y'all, welcome Kevin Wickham to the show. He's a very good friend of mine. We've been through hell and high water together, and literally, and we did scuba diving together, snorkeling together. He probably knows stuff about me that he's not going to talk about in here.
All right, so Mama Cat, go ahead. I'm sorry.
So how much did this end up costing us? Well, the total processing bill was $444. $44.20. So $445. So if you add that to the $25 that we paid for him, the milk replacer, the vet bill, we may have
$550, $600.
$600. Let's say on the high side, we got $600 in this. In this steer. Okay. Now, let me read off everything that we got. Now, to keep things in perspective, okay, his hanging weight That means after they took the head off, they gutted him
Took his hide.
and took his hide off.
And cut his hooves and stuff.
And cut his hooves.
Uh-huh.
It was basically just the meat and the bones hanging there. Okay? He weighed 744 pounds.
Right. Yes, that's a Prius.
Who asked that? Oh, okay.
Daniel Payne.
Now, this is everything that we got for around basically $600.
Almost 500 pounds of meat, but he's gonna tell you.
We got 14 sirloin steaks, 13 T-bone steaks.
No, not 13 because we took 6 out, so it's actually 9. Wait a minute. 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. 18 because we cooked 6 tonight.
18 T-bone steaks, 14 rib steaks, 11 round steaks, 9 meals of short ribs, 10 chuck roasts. Now we told them to cut the chuck roast in like what, 2 to 3 pounds. Sirloin tip roast, we got 7. A shoulder roast, we got 4. Rump roasts, 4. Soup bones, we got 16
packages.
Beef livers, we got a total of 10, and what they did was just basically cut them up in pieces. Boneless stew meat, we got 15 packages. Beef tongue, obviously just 1. And then 2-pound packs of hamburger or ground beef, we got 77.
They just asked, did we get bones for broth? Yes, we did. Hope, I hope you feel better.
That's everything that was here.
Yeah.
Okay?
And you can't really tell, but on the driver's side, it goes all the way up to the back of the seat.
Yeah.
And there was a question earlier asking about what we did. Mama Cat's, I guess, husband asked, what did we do about the wintertime? Well, here, until this last year, we didn't have to do anything. We didn't have to do hay at all. We have always had grass up to our knees. Like, we've had more than all of our animals could do. So, you still want to marry me? You don't need the house with all that beef. Yeah, it's a lot of beef, guys. And that's the one thing I would tell y'all, is if you decide to do something like this, be prepared. Because that's a lot of beef. Hope, get yourself hydrated, sweetheart.
One of the things you got to keep in mind, okay, is we had $600 in this cow, in this steer. We roughly almost got 600 pounds of meat, give or take. You know, plus, I mean,
well, if you add in the bone, because they don't normally take into consideration the bones and all that stuff, we're using a lot of the cow that they don't normally.
Right, and if you take that into consideration,
yeah,
we got a tremendous amount. You got 500 pounds of meat. You got the tongue that probably wasn't counted in this, and then we also got the hide and then some bones.
Right.
Now, also, and the reason to go back to the grass thing, our pastures are very well grassified.
There's a lot of different grasses.
It's a complete salad bar, but also it has good spring and summer grasses, but it also has good fall and winter grasses.
And we have clovers.
So that way they have stuff to eat on year round. Now the only time until this big drought that we had last year,
which killed us.
Until then, we only had to bring hay in like one time. We did it as a precautionary measure because it snowed. And that's it. And we brought them in some Bermuda hay. That's one of the ways that you keep your costs down. Your pastures gotta be a buffet. They can't just be Bahia, Bermuda, You know, they gotta have some plantain in there. They gotta have some sheep sorrel. They gotta have different things in there. The same wild edibles that we eat, they're gonna want to eat. Plus, they also want the red clover, the white clover,
Alice clover, all of it.
all that. You know, Josh from Simply Seven did something really cool at his place. He had an extra bag of biologic, and he just
so
tossed that out there to add different things to his lawn, so that way his rabbits
would have something to
have something to munch on.
And they're asking, a lot of places won't give you the hide. Yeah, they were more than happy to give us the hide. Now, here's where we go back to that whole yes, we are that family. And I heard a couple people on here say stuff about the Prius. That Prius has hauled beavers that have been caught during trapping season. It's hauled feed. It's hauled, I mean, there's no other, like a small car, like that car does so much that you would not believe. But yes, when we went up there to have him processed, we dropped him off. We asked if we could have the hide. He told us yes, that we could have it, but we had to bring it back. And they basically just threw it in the back of the Prius. Fortunately, I had put some plastic down, so the only sign of us having the hide in there was a little bit of smear of blood on the back of my
And so my plans for the hide is basically we'll flesh it out, we'll stretch it out, we'll tan it, take the hair off of it, and we'll probably turn it into aprons for the blacksmith shop, the fur shop, everything like that. We'll turn it into aprons. Now, things, and let's get back on track. We spent basically $600. It's a little, that makes, right now, the way it stands, right here, what we're eating, this T-bone steak, is costing me basically $1 a pound. Maybe $1.50 a pound. You can't get regular GMO, CAFO,
ground beef. Ground beef.
that did that. Okay? You can't get that cheap. Your average grass-fed, a truly grass-fed animal runs anywhere from $7 to $15 a pound, depending on what cut you're getting. So right now, I'm eating, and the steaks are usually the more expensive cut. I'm eating a T-bone steak that would roughly cost anybody else, if you didn't raise it, about $9, $10 a pound.
No, I disagree, because a regular T-bone, did you say grass-fed or a regular T-bone? No, a regular T-bone steak, when it is not on sale, is upwards of $10 a pound. Easy. And that's not grass-fed. There was, B-Lady asked this question and asked it again, and then Sam asked a question. B-Lady's asking, what do we figure the cost in labor and care? Well, here's the thing. When you have the amount of land that we have, I mean, yeah, you could figure in the time of having to chase them around occasionally, but the way that I look at that is, if you want a homestead and you want to raise your own meat, that comes with the territory, and I don't really figure that into cost.
That's a hard question to answer.
That's really hard,
because you would have to divide that up with Hoss. I can't believe you ain't here yet. Just saying. You would have to divide that up with our dairy cows, our our pigs, our sheep, everything that we have out there. You would have to divide that 30-45 minutes that it takes to
put eyes on them.
To put eyes on everybody, to walk the perimeter, all that kind of stuff. You know,
down on the road. You know, I mean, there's
so you would have to divide that up. But let's just theoretically throw in another $100 over the 3 years. You know, and that's giving yourself a fair wage of $10 to $12 an hour. So, you You know, that takes us, we're still under $1,000
Right.
for 500 pounds of grass-fed beef.
Mm-hmm. No antibiotics.
Yeah. So
No steroids.
if you just float down the middle and say, we'll just say, okay, we're just gonna value it at $10 a pound.
Mm-hmm.
That's a $5,000
Mm-hmm.
value that we have from all of the cuts and everything.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not even $800 into it if you include labor, time and labor.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not very good at math, but that's a huge percent
Well,
of profit.
and that's if you were going to sell everything. But then the other thing is think about what we're going to save not buying meat as well.
I was getting ready to get to that.
Well, I'm sorry.
No,
ain't no Waffle House T-bone. No,
Mm-mm.
not even close.
So I'm already got a huge percent profit margin.
Mm-hmm.
But there are ways that I could even increase that even more. I mean, let's be honest. 500 pounds of beef for a family of 5. That means in a 1-year time frame, each member of this family would have to eat 100 pounds.
That's a lot of meat.
Now, the only person that could possibly pull that off is LaDessa. Rest of us, not so much.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, if we didn't sell a thing, okay, that means our profit margin expands because, like Robin was saying, we no longer have to purchase any beef.
Right.
And if we didn't sell any of it, this 500 pounds of beef would last us 2-3 years.
Yeah, a couple years.
You know? So that profit margin then expands over those next couple of
2
years.
Right.
That we don't have to buy steaks. We don't have to buy roasts. We don't have to buy ground beef for tacos. We don't have to do any of that. Okay? So that's something that a lot of people don't put in their math problem when they're trying to figure out cost to benefit ratio.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I've got more cows back there. That means within this next 3-year time frame, 9 times out of 10,
I'm gonna have another cow.
I'm gonna be before I eat all of this, I'm gonna have another cow at the processor. So, with that in mind, I gotta sell some of this. So, you can, for example, Robin has come up with an idea.
Go ahead.
You have.
Well, it wasn't really my idea. It was.
She's gonna put boxes together, and it's gonna have a certain amount of steaks in it. It's gonna have a roast. It's gonna have this. It'll have different things. You know, bunch of ground beef in it, and we're gonna sell it for about $250. So if I sell 2 boxes, I just made my processing fee back.
And around here, we'll be able to get that, no problem.
I sell 3 boxes. I got the majority of my purchase price of him, the vet bill, and the milk replacer back. If I sell the 4th box, some of that's going to be all out profit. And you're talking $250 for about 30 pounds of this grass-fed beef. So it's really, those 4 boxes are really not, are barely going to cut in to the amount of beef that we have here at the house. So then it all becomes 100% profit.
But I don't know that we'll, because after looking at all of what we got, there's a good portion of ground beef and not as much. And basically, it was what I had seen a lot of places do is steaks are normally $10 to $15 a pound. The ground beef is usually $6 or so, $5 or $6 a pound, or $4, whatever. So what they did is they met in the middle and said it's $7 a pound for 30 pounds. So it's like $210.
Now, Jack, I seen Jack Frost in here. He wasn't in here in the beginning. Hey, brother. Mead. Homebrewed mead.
Jason has Ms. B worked up over looking at that steak.
But what do you mean I gotta work?
Because she, instead of saying how good, she said how food. What do you feed in the winter when there's no grass? We have grass.
We have grass all year long.
Mm-hmm.
Even when the drought came in, we still had grass. They weren't starving, but we had to bring in some hay just to help the pasture out, not necessarily the cows, the pasture. So if you guys want to buy some of our beef, you have to come to us. We do not ship. So you'd have to make the truck here to be able to get it and do there. Yes, Jack, it's mead, brother. It's about a year-old bottle right there. And so there it is. If you've got the land and you've got the patience, there is no reason why you shouldn't make a small investment in the beginning, especially right now, because right now is the time to get into beef cattle.
Beef is low this
beef
year.
is low. Basically the country of India has basically flooded the market with beef, and so it dropped it right now. Well, it's not going to stay there for long.
The other thing too that happened is a lot of people were selling off their cows because of the drought, because they couldn't provide the grass. Now that's not going on now. Now we're not having any problems. But there were several people who were selling. If we had had the cash, we'd have done it back like Christmas time, before Christmas, because there was so many people that were like, I just can't afford, because they had 200 head of cattle. It's not like they had 5 or 6. They had like 200, and so they had to downsize. So there was a lot of people just giving away cows. I mean, very reasonable. And people just taking them straight to slaughter. They weren't even raising them. They were just taking them straight onto the processor. Yeah, you guys can hear the frogs in the background. We got a lot of singers back here.
A tremendous amount of singers.
Yeah. So, could you process it too? Yes.
Yes, you can process it 2 years old. One of the main reasons why we waited until he was 3 is because, one, I was trying to find a processor. I am very picky with my processors.
Because you have to trust them.
I will go and look at their place to see how clean it is. And I will ask around. And I do my homework when it comes to my processors. And it took us a good year to find this guy. And tasting this T-bone steak, I'm probably
we will go back, because
I'll probably go back with him.
It's not bloody. Like, you can tell that they drained him they did everything they were supposed to do. You can't taste the blood in the meat. I will definitely, if we had an opportunity to get a black Baldi again, I would definitely do it. It's a good, the fat is really good. The marbling's pretty good. So if we had the opportunity to get another one, absolutely. And we may look into doing that. We may look into doing that once one of our cows is in milk. Because if we have a cow in milk, we'll be able to do a bottle. We'd be able to get a cheap bottle calf for like $25, but we would have the milk to be able to supply him and not have to buy the replacement.
Wickham, you calm down. You'll go home with your own bottle of mead your own bottle of red muscadine wine, white scuppernong wine, and some
We don't
honey.
have any white scuppernong right now.
We do?
Mm-mm.
I think we got some underneath the house.
Oh, I'm sorry. We have scuppernong. We don't have muscadine. I'm sorry. That's what I meant.
Oh, okay.
Mama asked, what's a good range for a calf? We just bought our bull calf. And again, calf is a loose term. Because calf can mean anywhere from it fell out of mama on the way to the sale all the way to a year.
Mm-hmm.
And even sometimes beyond that.
Yeah.
Sometimes 12 to 18 months, still sometimes, about 12 months, 12 or no, like 16 months. About 18, they start to kind of not call them calves anymore. But, you know, when they're even 12 months, they're still calling them calves. But our bull calf, who could have been registered because he was bred from registered Black Angus, he cost us $800. But he was also 10 months old. So
bottle fed calves are the best way to go, but you have to basically you have to know what you're getting into.
Yeah.
A bottle fed calf, you need, depending on his age, is he 1 day old? Did he just fall out? Is he 2 days old? Did they let him stay with mom for those 2 days, or the moment that they got him, did they pull him away from mom? Mm-hmm. Those are very important questions that you need the answers to, because if he was pulled away from mom too early and didn't get the colostrum, it will stunt his growth. Mm-hmm. You'll have to get the colostrum replacement, which is expensive. Mm-hmm. And you'll have to basically get the cow formula,
right,
at like Tractor Supply and stuff like that. And then you'll have to bottle feed him for a little while. It's time consuming. Bottle feeding a calf is time consuming. Each calf takes about 10 to 15 minutes to bottle. And that's once you got them to take the bottle.
And that's if you know what you're doing. Mm-hmm. If you don't know what you're doing, there's a lot of stress that goes with figuring out how to get that stinking calf to latch onto that bottle. And again, Windswept saying you got to watch out for scours, because they will get, mm-hmm. And scours is just a fancy name for diarrhea for a calf. And that's why, like, once you get established with one or two, like, you know, when we started into dairy cows, that was one of the reasons we wanted to keep a dairy cow on the property, is that if we ever decided to do a calf, go pick one up at sale for, you know, $25, $50, you know. And here's something for y'all to think about. We're on a list of a cattle hauler. If you have a cattle sale anywhere nearby you, or you know somebody who hauls calves back and forth, sometimes calves are born on the way to the auction. And a lot of times they won't sell them at the auction. They'll stay on the trailer. And so if you can find somebody that does that and just put a bug in their ear, hey, you know, I'll give you $25 if you'll bring that calf back here afterwards. And that way he makes $25 for his gas, and he gets rid of the calf. He doesn't have to do anything with it. Yep. So that's something else to, you know,
because that's where most of your veal comes from, is calves that were born on trailers or at the auction that didn't sell. Mm-hmm. That's where your veal and stuff comes from.
Use molasses is what I've always heard.
And so, what was I talking about? I don't remember.
Beth was saying that a Black Angus calf goes for $75. That's probably a bottle calf. Because if they're a few months old and wean,
they ain't going for that.
They're not going. Not here. They may there, but they don't go for that here.
In California, I find that
I would think
$75
is for like a couple-day-old calf.
Unless it's somebody that is trying very hard to get rid of his complete herd. And
just doesn't have enough room for anymore.
You know, because California got hit hard by the drought too, so that, I mean, that very well may be a possibility.
can't stand the taste of their Angus. Well, I'll tell you, and somebody asked the question earlier, it was Sam, I think, asked if we've done this before or was this our first cow. This was not our first one. Our first one was actually another bottle calf.
Let's see if I can find his picture.
Well, his picture is on the thumbnail.
Not this thumbnail.
No, on the thumbnail for the video to name the new calf that we have. But anyway, he was a Black Angus. And we were so poor back when we raised him that we didn't even probably know what Black Angus tasted like. And, but we basically, we paid very little for him, and we raised him up from calf all the way to the time it was time for him to go to the processor. And that was when we were hooked, really, on grass-fed beef. So there is Pouty McPout Pants.
This was our very first one.
He was a big boy too.
He was a Black Angus bull. No, we did not cut him.
300 to 500 for day-old calves. I prefer the taste of Hereford. Hereford's what you normally get in a store, from what I understand.
So, this was our very first one. This one was our huge learning curve that we had.
Mm-hmm.
And Robin called him Pouty McPout Pants right there. It's because, as you can see, we had to do some patchwork on some fencing right there.
Because he loved to get out.
Because he would just, it's not like he would get out and roam. He would get out and come
right
to the side of the house
window.
and just start peeping through the window.
Yeah, he just would come into the window and look at us like, are you going to come down and do your thing today?
So, Warrior Farm Homestead is your BSF
bin. Yes, it is. The Black Soldier Fly bin is up and running, and we have seen activity of the Black Soldier Flies.
Yes.
Blaze and I noticed that today when we were over by the thing, over by the garden.
And so, basically, that's it in a nutshell. When you're homesteading and you're raising your own stuff, you go through a lot of heartache.
Mm-hmm.
You go through a lot of stress.
Mm-hmm.
You know, there are times when you're out there in the middle of a thunderstorm because a lightning hit a tree and the tree branch fell down on your fence and your cow runs to 3 counties. And you have to walk the cow back by hand on a lead rope because you don't have a dually.
Mm-mm.
You don't have the trailer.
Does Apollo get a femur? Apollo is going to get every bone we got. We're going to put them in Ziploc bags and freeze them.
And you're walking back miles looking at this thing behind you going,
why am I doing this again?
A 5-minute trip to Walmart and I got a steak.
Mm-hmm.
But then after it all comes to fruition and you're sitting down here and you're looking at your steak and you cut into it like such.
Mm-mm-mm.
And
yummy.
You get that taste and that flavor.
It makes it worthwhile.
And I can't answer for her. But for me, as it melts in my mouth,
mm-hmm.
you get a flood of memories of going all of the drama, the Mickey Mouse drama that you went through to get him to here.
Yeah, how about in the middle of a thunderstorm helping birth a goat that's breed? I mean, we've had several situations like that. You know, we were out digging trenches at our old place because we lived on a slope. We were out digging trenches at 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock in the morning in the rain. You know, there's all kinds of, I mean, the calf, our youngest calf, we had to carry her from the back. Well, you had to carry her. I'm sorry. We had to get her from the back pasture all the way up to the front just to make sure that she didn't
freeze during the sleet storm because she was all wet.
Yes, Donna, it was a crossbreed between an Angus and a Hereford, and it is fantastic. I would admit it's a little fun to watch a bull tree the guy that works for the electric company. We actually, there's a funny story of me and my friend. We were milking one night, and we used to let the calf out while we were milking because we'd have her in a stall, and so we'd let the calf run around while we were milking her, and then put him back before we backed her out. Well, one night we were miscommunicating somehow, and the calf was still out, and we let Mama out, and we started trying to push the calf back in to the stall, and Mama was not happy about us being close to the calf, and so she came after us, and she had horns, and she was a Holstein, so she was like 6 feet tall. And the best part of the story is her husband was sitting on his porch, and Jason was up at the top of the hill on his porch, and they sat there and watched us scream and laugh as a light, because it was in the middle of the dark, so flashlights going all over the place, and we're squealing, and neither one of them thought to come check on us.
We thought you were playing flashlight lightsaber tag.
Yeah, so
but there it is, guys. You got it. It's worth it. Mm-hmm. It's worth its weight in gold.
Definitely.
If you are within a day's drive of us and you want to purchase some of this beef, send us a message. We'll
get with you.
We'll send you the price list, and we'll put it off to the side. I won't hold it long. But I will hold it if you set a date. I'll probably hold it a couple of days after that date. But if you set a date,
just send us a message. It's probably the best way to say it. Just send us a message. Been kicked by a calf. It hurts. Yeah.
Been kicked by a cow.
I've been kicked by a 1,200-pound cow. It hurts.
But at the end of the day, when you got this much meat for that little of a price, it's worth it every day of the week and twice on Sunday. Plus, this beef is better for you than anything else.
CAFO beef, yeah, definitely.
You know?
Yep.
So, it's time for us to say goodnight.
Hope's not going on.
She's not?
She said she's not feeling well. Wake her up for insomnia.
Okay.
But we need to.
So, we're going to say...
Oh, she didn't get to hear the price and the pounds. We paid $444.20 for roughly 500 pounds of meat. And that's not including like how much we paid for him. It basically and we didn't add up all the weight, so we're not sure. We're just kind of guessing. But the way that you do the math is you take what their original weight is, and then you multiply that. You take 65% of that, and then from that would be the hanging weight, which is what we had, was the 744 pounds. And then usually that yields 65% meat. So if you go from 744 pounds and you multiply that, then you end up with about like 480 something. Oh, how much are we selling it for? Hello.
Send us a message, Mama Cat, and we'll get with you.
Okay. So, about naming the bull. What are we doing about naming the bull?
Well, it was a tie between Diesel.
Yeah, but a couple people
and Kodiak
commented while we were on.
So, if you want, let's go like this. If you want the name, you know what? I'm so upset with Susan right at this second. I just should say that it's Diesel. Because of her last comment. It was completely inappropriate.
I didn't see it.
But if you want diesel, go ahead and throw your hands up. Throw your hands up and vote for diesel.
Oh yeah, that wasn't very nice, was it?
You know what? That's a good idea.
Flip a coin.
We'll flip a
Chuck E. Cheese coin.
Chuck E. Cheese coin. You got the head with the Chuck E. Cheese on it. Well, both of them got heads on it. They both got the stupid mouse on
well,
it.
that ain't gonna work. Here.
Okay. Heads. Well, that didn't work either because it just came all off on my hand.
She said it was a freaking joke. I already conceded. Well, we're a little sensitive to that, Susan. You should know that by now.
Okay. Heads.
There we go. And tails.
Tails.
There we go. All right, you ready?
All right. Heads for Kodiak. Tails for Diesel.
Oh, what is it? Tails.
Tails for
Tails
Diesel.
for Diesel. Whoop, whoop. So we're going to call him Diesel. That'll be awesome.
So,
And that's what she was saying. Diesel had gotten like 8 votes anyway, so.
oh. Okay, so it's Diesel. So I forget
Awesome.
who did Diesel. I'll have to go back and look at my notes, or basically look in the thing. And we will be in contact with you for to work out your prize, since we're still trying to figure out a t-shirt situation.
Yeah. Still trying to figure that one out. I got to get with Diesel was Southern Arc Homestead. I haven't seen him
Southern
in
Arc
here.
Homestead.
So,
well, that's it, guys. Hope said she's not going to.
I still like Shaft.
So do I,
too,
Steve.
but nobody
So did
voted
I.
for
No,
it.
nope, but you didn't vote for him. You didn't go out there and vote for him. But you guys.
Hey, Lisa.
That's it. That's our show for tonight.
Yep.
So we will catch you guys in Insomnia. Insomnia will be on YouTube tonight. And so if you want to be a part of it, be looking for the link. You guys have a great evening, and we'll see you back shortly. Bye.
Bye.